Welcome to this edition of ACAP Today for the week of June 7th, 2021. I'm Jason Parent with the Aroostook County Action Program. On this week's program, we're going to speak with Rachel Valancourt, a program associate here at ACAP, who's working on the rental assistance program. She's working with folks countywide, both renters and landlords. We're going to catch up with her and learn about what she and her team have been doing over the last few months, and also talk about what opportunities are available for individuals across Aroostook County who may be in need of rental assistance at this time. We're going to catch up with Rachel and have that conversation in just a little bit. But before we do that, as we do always at the beginning of the broadcast, we're going to share with you this week's news and information that you can use. And we begin our news and information that you can use this week by sharing with you that ACAP and a host of other partners in the community, the 4 county hospitals, federally qualified health centers, Aroostook Emergency Management Agency, and the District Coordinating Council for Public Health in Aroostook County will be sponsoring Don't Wait, Vaccinate, Ask a County Doctor Forum. It's going to be your questions answered. It's going to be airing live on WAGM this Tuesday, that's June 8th, from 7 to 8 o'clock. We invite you to submit your questions in advance using the WAGM Facebook page or at WAGM-news@Gray TV. You can submit your questions either way, and we encourage you to do that. We'll also be having folks able to call in live that evening, and we'll have folks answering their questions or taking their questions over the phone and filtering some to us. We'll have a doctor from each of the 4 county hospitals joining us, or a provider from each of the 4 county hospitals joining us. It's an important community conversation, so if you're on the fence about whether or not to get your vaccine, this is an opportunity to have your questions answered, or just to tune in and listen to the conversation and see if you might decide that getting vaccinated is for you at this point. So please join us 7 to 8 p.m. Tuesday, June 8th on WAGM. We also want to remind folks who are looking to get connected with a COVID vaccine that there are several resources here in the state of Maine. One is www.maine.gov/COVID-19/vaccines. If you need assistance registering for a vaccine appointment or just want to know where a vaccine may be available to you in your local community, you can do that. You can also call us if you would like assistance at 764-3721. We keep a running list and have that information available, and can also help if the online registration is required and you're unable to do that for your vaccine. We can help you do that here. We can also connect you with the free vaccine ride program that the Department of Health and Human Services is offering. It's a free option for Maine people who need a ride to and from their COVID-19 vaccination appointment. That is something that does need to be done 48 hours in advance of the appointment. You can reserve by calling 1-855-608-5172. That's the number that you want to call at least 48 hours in advance before your appointment. The other piece of information that we wanted to continue to share with you is that we are entering into the summer season here in Aroostook County. But as you know, from living here in Aroostook County, those summers do indeed go by very fast. So if you would like to consider applying for heating assistance, now is actually the ideal time to do so. You can contact our Home Energy Assistance Program, 768-3053. Now, the income qualification guidelines have greatly expanded in the last couple of years. So if you applied several years ago and you were not eligible, you may want to try again. The income guidelines are available on our website if you'd like to look at those before. But if you haven't had an appointment since last August, so if you had an appointment but it was before last August, now is the time to get an appointment in for the coming season. Please do give us a call and we would be glad to schedule you an appointment. We can often do those right within the same week that you call at this time of year. The season goes through July 15th, so just a little over a month. So do hurry and call us so that we can get you in and get you some assistance. That assistance will stay on your account for 18 months. So don't worry about not having it in the fall. It will not only be there in the fall, but it'll stay on for 18 months or until it expires and you've run through the entire amount. And as you know, the cost of fuel has gone up slightly, so this assistance is very helpful. Our next homebuyer education class, this is an ACAP's HomeWorks approved 8-hour homebuyer education class. It's taught by industry professionals, including lenders, home inspectors, real estate agents, and others. These are offered via Zoom at this time. We offer it here locally with our HomeWorks instructor, Greg Doak. He's available at 207-554-4175 or gdoak@acap-me.org. The next class is coming up Saturday, June 26th. It will be held from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. all via Zoom, and we still have available slots in that class. We've had record number of people applying to participate in our home buyer education program. There are some very good incentives on the backside of the program. So if you apply, your fees, your registration fees are more than well made up for in terms of the benefit toward the purchase of your home. But please do encourage that conversation with Greg so that you understand what those benefits are and your eligibility for those benefits as you enroll for the class. We wanted to share with you that our partners at Aid for Kids down in Southern Aroostook are as well as Caring Hands of Maine and the University of Connecticut Dental School or Yukon School of Dental Medicine are offering Aroostook Charitable Dental Days. They're doing that this week. They're at the Rollerama of Holton at 494 North Street. They'll be there through Thursday, the 10th. It's open to all ages, and they are encouraging folks to schedule an appointment for the free dental screenings, the basic dental care treatment. This is specifically for those without regular dental care, encouraging folks to start the summer with a healthy smile. The telephone number to make an appointment or to get more information is 667-6789, and we encourage anybody who is looking for dental services who does not have a dental home to connect with this free dental clinic. We want to thank Aid for Kids and the University of Connecticut or Yukon for their work on this project. We also want to remind folks out there as we head into the summer season, if you have school-age kids, you should be aware that you can get school meals at any summer meal location in your local community, even if you don't live in that specific town. So if you are looking for information on this, please contact the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The address, the email address is there on your screen, or the website address is there on your screen. If you'd like to find meals at a location near you, we certainly don't want the children who are used to receiving school lunch to go without this summer. And this is a great resource. And our folks at the Let's Go 5210 program here at ACAP are reminding folks to connect with their local school lunch program for those free meals over the summer. We also want to share with folks that are looking for assistance with their broadband that there is an emergency broadband benefit program that is now available through the Federal Communications Commission. It can offer, as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, up to $50 a month as a discount for broadband services, and up to $75 a month a discount for broadband services for households specifically on tribal lands. There's also the one-time discount of up to $100 for a laptop, a desktop computer, or tablet purchased through a participating vendor. We encourage you to visit the FCC's website. Again, the address is there on your screen for the latest information on this program. It is especially a good program at this particular point in time with the online learning and work from home options requiring more access to broadband than ever before. We also want to share with you that we have 2 remaining childcare openings each at our Holton and Caribou Center. We encourage you, this is a rare thing for those openings to be held right now. And so we encourage folks who would be interested or who are in need of childcare or who are planning that they may need childcare. You may be having a child, you may be expecting a new child, to contact us at 764-3721 about those openings. You can also get put on the waiting list for our childcare program in Presque Isle, although we do have a waiting list there. You can also inquire about our Head Start and early Head Start programs as well. We'd certainly love to have your children join our ACAP family. The Community Closet, just one last thing in this news segment. The Community Closet continues to be available at ACAP's 771 Main Street. This is a take what you need, give what you can, just like our community cupboard nearby. You can drop off your clothes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week right at the closet, or you can certainly pick up clothing items as needed. This is, again, a free available service for all community members, and we certainly encourage donations as well. We've had some great donations that have come in as people have cleaned out and held garage sales and had remaining items that they've brought to us, and we thank you all for your donations. And we also encourage anybody who is in need to use the Community Closet. With that, that's this week's news and information that you can use, and I'm very pleased to be joined now on ACAP Today by Rachel Valancourt, who is with the Aroostook County Action Program. She is a program associate with ACAP. Rachel, it's great to have you.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
So Rachel, for folks out there, first of all, who are wondering what a program associate in rental assistance does, tell everyone what you have been working on the last few months that you have been with the agency.
So I'm somebody that does the importing. So that means I'm collecting all of the information that processing needs. So for financing, so we're going to need income, your landlord's information. We're pretty much gathering it all and making sure that everything is there. And we're making sure that you qualify as well. So when you hear from us, we are going to be very thorough with everything. We're gonna, ask lots of questions, and we're gonna make sure that it doesn't get kicked back to us. So that way we don't have to keep reaching out to you for more information.
Now, Rachel, we're just so that we can bring people up to speed here. We are talking about the rental assistance program that's connected to the COVID-19 emergency relief funding, and that is available to renters here in Aroostook County. Tell folks who are renters out there what they should be considering if they might want to apply for this program, and how they go about starting doing that if they haven't already.
Well, they can go right to Main Housing, right on their website. That would be the easiest and the fastest way to get your application in. If you're unsure of anything, you can always call our offices and ask about it. And I can refer you to somebody that does applications over the phone, for some people that don't have access to the internet, but definitely online is the easiest way to do it.
And then what can folks expect? So if they apply, what then happens? Because I know sometimes we are processing a number of applications at the same time. So what are the instructions for folks, and what can they expect if they either file an application online or call us and we complete one for them over the phone?
Online, this happens quite often, missing information. So somebody's going to reach out to you to complete the application. And then from that process, we say the envelope turns green, and that means that it comes to me and I get to go in and further evaluate everything. So I get to collect the information, anything that's missing. But for the people calling over the phone, most of the lady that does it is very good, and she collects most of the information for us, and she's very thorough about completing the application. So that sometimes can go faster. But yeah, most of it is pretty easy. Just make sure that you give all the information, have all your information ready, such as landlord information, emails. That's a big one. If your landlord has an email, we definitely need it.
So once an application gets put into our system, and we are going after all the information, they might hear from you or one of your colleagues if there's anything missing or about next steps at that point.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll be in touch with them. For missing information and landlord information mostly.
And then you do mention landlord information. So you will actually be reaching out to and contacting their landlord, because the landlord does have a role in this process. And for the most part, the funding does go directly to the landlord, correct?
Yes. Most, if not all of my people that I have worked with, it goes directly to the landlord. I don't think I've had to pay out to any tenants.
Right. I know that there is a process by, if the landlord is not responsive, that the tenant can claim it themselves. But we are very fortunate here in Aroostook County that our landlords are generally great to work with. It's not the case elsewhere in the state universally, but we're very grateful that the landlords across the region have been great partners in this effort. And I'm sure Rachel joins me in saying thank you to all of you for helping to make this process a lot easier on Aroostook County residents in need. Speaking of that, Rachel, share with me, I guess, what you're seeing out there as you're working with folks on their application, and as you're processing these applications and you're having these phone conversations with renters out there in Aroostook County. What are you seeing and what are you hearing in terms of the impact economically of COVID-19 on households?
Right. I think we're making a huge impact. I think we're affecting a lot of lives for the better. I definitely, I see a lot of gratitude in people. People are very happy and relieved. There's been a lot of people that we've had to unfortunately go back a whole year and pay, help them pay all that back. And that has just been a huge weight lifted off people's shoulders.
And you've had some experiences where people have called and I think you shared with me even maybe gotten emotional because of the stress that they were carrying as a result of economic circumstances that were really beyond their control. I mean, without divulging, names or direct information, what are some of the situations that you've encountered with individuals who you've spoken with on the phone?
Absolutely. I've had one individual lost their job. They were, self-employed, and with COVID, they could no longer work what they were doing. So they were unable to, make their utility bills, make, their rent, let alone buy food. So we were able to catch them all back, catch them all up with everything, bring them up to current, and they were able to, start a new job and, keep everything current.
And that raises a very good point, because we've been talking up until this point about rental assistance, but really this extends beyond rental assistance. There is additional assistance you can provide folks beyond just the payment of their rent, correct?
Absolutely. We can help with, lights, water, sewer. We can, even help with internet, especially if you're, homeschooling or anything like that, working from home. We can help with it.
And that has been, I guess, immensely helpful for folks as well, that are, if you have no income coming in, it's very difficult to be able to pay for any of those things, let alone rent. So I'm certain this has been a huge burden lifted.
Absolutely. I mean, I spoke to somebody the other day and they were unable to make their car payments. So that would have meant, because paying the car and the mortgage, or not mortgage, I'm sorry, rent, that, that can be a lot. So they would have lost their job because they had no, transportation.
Now, I just want to note, because you did mention mortgage, and it's not this program is not for homeowners, but I know that we've gotten a lot of calls from folks who are homeowners, and we just ask that you please, I know that there must be a lot of anxiety building there, but please be patient. We are working with state officials on a homeowner assistance program. We don't have any of the details at this point, but we do anticipate that that will roll out at some point this summer. So we'll hopefully be bringing you some more information on ACAP Today and through other media about the homeowner assistance program. I know that there's also a program that not necessarily Rachel, but some of her team members who are working on the rental assistance team are going to be engaging in around housing stability that will help prevent foreclosures and help work with families who are continued to be in crisis as a result of economic impact from COVID-19. So we'll also be rolling out more information on that in the coming weeks as well. So please do be patient. But in the meantime, we do have, Rachel, the information on eligibility around the rental assistance program. And I thought maybe we could take a few minutes to share with folks, because oftentimes people assume that because they didn't lose a job during COVID-19, or that they're maybe on fixed income or Social Security and that hasn't changed, that doesn't necessarily mean that folks are not eligible for this program, does it?
No, it does not. You have to be under the income guidelines. So yeah, one person, 37,000 is what your yearly income would be. And that so on and so forth. So it goes up. But a lot of people I see are applying because, prices of food have gone up. There's all kinds of things that, COVID has impacted, and prices go up. So a lot of people are struggling to, make ends meet and put food on the table at the same time.
Yeah, so this is a very important point that Rachel notes, and I think that we want to make sure that folks out there watching us are looking at this chart and saying, gosh, many folks living in Aroostook County are households of a size of 4 individuals who are making $53,850 or less a year. The odds are you do qualify for this program if you're a renter and make within that income guidelines. Even if you make slightly above that income guidelines, there are some deductible cost qualifying expenses. It would be worth a call for us if you fall just outside of that guideline and are a renter, to check in with us. But as Rachel pointed out, it's important to note, I mean, look, a household of 2, I know that there are many senior couples or even sole individuals that Rachel noted that are working with an annual household income of less than $37,700 a year, or elderly couples working with less than $43,100 a year. And what's really important to note about that is you are eligible for this funding. And if this is an opportunity for you to be able to offset rent expenses, as Rachel noted, if there are other expenses, folks have car expenses and things like that, that you can defer those dollars to support those other areas, or even be able to support. We know that, consistently hear stories of senior citizens or others making decisions about choosing between heating their homes or affording to put food on the table or to buy prescription drugs. And those decisions with the assistance from the rental assistance program should not have to be one or the other at this point. So I know, Rachel, there's going to be some more outreach happening to seniors and to other community members. We have how many folks about registered and have applied for rental assistance in Aroostook County up until this point, roughly?
Oh my God, hundreds. I know myself, I'm probably have like 300 people that have, 100 that I have enrolled, 100 that I am now checking in for the second round, and 100 that I am currently working on. So there's lots. There's lots of people.
And just by comparative measures, our home energy assistance program registers about 2,800 or so families or households across Aroostook County that rent any given year. And the odds are, if you're eligible for the home energy assistance program, you're eligible for the rental assistance program. So we have received hundreds, but there are hundreds more across Aroostook County that would be eligible for this program. And we really encourage you to apply for that to help take off some of the edge of the increased cost and household expenses that have been caused by the COVID-19 pandemic right now. Rachel, what other thoughts would you share with folks out there before we close out this edition of ACAP Today?
Well, I've had a few college students. I'd like to, say that I think it could definitely benefit college students as well, especially, if they're out of state, coming up here. The only thing that I'm asking for when people put in their application is you get back to me as quick as possible. Because, waiting around and, watch your email. That's a big one. We like to reach out through email. We also call, but many people don't answer. So email is a big one.
I think that's a very critically important message, because oftentimes folks will say, well, I haven't heard back from them. And well, in fact, we have been trying to reach folks. So if you have put in a rental assistance application, I think the additional piece of advice that I've heard from some of Rachel's colleagues is also, please do try to fully complete the application. It saves a lot of processing time on Rachel and her colleagues, and if all of the information that's requested is already entered in there, and helps expedite that application. But yes, please do be responsive, because the clock starts ticking from when your application comes in, and we want to be able to be responding to folks in a timely way, because there are folks who really need this assistance right now, and we're pleased to be able to provide that. Rachel,
Absolutely.
Thank you. I want to make sure that we share this information as well again, because it is so important. And that information is that you can apply online at mainhousing.org/COVID-rent. There are also paper applications available on the Maine Housing website. But if you don't have access to the internet for whatever reason, or prefer to do this over the phone, you can call us at 207-764-3721. And as Rachel pointed out, the lovely woman named Anne that we have working on doing these applications over the phone is very thorough and does a fantastic job, and we thank her for her part of that process. But we also remind folks that if you may have applied for rental assistance in 2020, those income guidelines have changed. So all renters who meet income guidelines are encouraged to apply. You may have been denied in 2020, but the guidelines have changed, and they're about to change again as new ARPA funding requirements come in. And from what I understand, they will be even more workable in terms of rental assistance. So again, call us at 764-3721 if you have any questions. Again, I thank Rachel for joining us. I want to also note that if your family has any needs for assistance, whether it's rental or otherwise, we do have navigators available here at ACAP, and you can call our 764-3721 number and ask to be connected with a navigator, and they will help you assess programs and services both within our agency and outside of our agency that might be available to you as you're struggling at this time. And oftentimes people who have not gone through the systems before, even who have gone through the systems before, as things have changed so drastically during COVID, find that these navigators are very helpful to them. We also want to encourage anyone out there, like Rachel did not that long ago, who's interested in joining the ACAP team. We do have current openings in Presque Isle and Caribou for staff aid program associate like Rachel, Ed Tech 2 or Ed Tech 3 in Presque Isle and in Caribou. And we are now offering a $500 sign-on bonus or signing bonus. And so we encourage you to apply for positions within our agency, and we will be doing that retroactively, Rachel, with some of our staff as well. So if you thought you missed that, you still have the opportunity to get that as well. So just wanted to get that in there for you if you're wondering, gosh, I wish they would have had that when I was starting, but we will be looking at that for employees who have recently signed on with us as well. We offer the benefits that are noted there and certainly willing to chat with you. Please do look for us on Facebook or at acap-me.org for these job listings. And finally, as we do each week, we end with our snapshot of the week. And this snapshot of the week comes from one of our own employees, Meg Hegman, who oversees our prevention and wellness programs here at ACAP. Meg has installed on her own property a free library. This is located at the corner of Maple and Dudley Streets here in Presque Isle. It's along the same concept as our community closet or our community cupboard. It's leave what you can, take what you need or what you like in this particular case. This particular library has young adult novels, children's books, cookbooks, fiction, and activity books, and are available for anyone who wants to stop by. This is Meg Hegman's A Little Free Library on the corner of Maple and Dudley Streets in Presque Isle. Thank you, Meg, for being such a good community citizen. And again, thank you, Rachel, for joining me on this edition of ACAP Today. We'll be back next week, the week of June 14th, with another edition of ACAP Today. Until then, have a great week and enjoy the start of summer. Bye, everyone.